Well, here we have a very simple scene. I've deliberately introduced a cabbage or a run back into the sky area by dropping a lot of water into it whilst it was almost drying. And so it's created a real mess there now. And the best thing to do when you get these is to leave them alone, go and have a coffee or do something else. What we'll do now is we'll use a sponge and get rid of the offending article. To protect the cottage, I'm just putting that across there, and off we go. And this is Saunders Waterford, very robust paper. So I'll just wet it all again. Some cadmium yellow in the sky. This is cadmium yellow pale. Warm colour in there. And then I'll bring some wash down of French ultramarine in cadmium red. Now, if you're finding you're putting your cadmium yellow in like that, perhaps, and then bring in your blue-grey clouds down into it, and you're finding that you're getting a green sky, it's simply because you're doing this, you're putting it on like this, and then you're sort of rubbing it in with more and more strokes, and that will induce the green, because you're actually mixing it on the paper, whereas I'm just leaving it here now. Sometimes what I do is take out some of the colour with just a damp brush, especially if I don't want it to descend too far down there. Just taking areas out with a damp brush. So we improved the sky. Now what I want to do is to just restore the cottage a little bit with a bit of detail. I'll get rid of these sort of furry edges. And maybe we should put a window in there. Just a little bit of spatter around the bush. But what if we don't like the finished results? Here we've got a scene where the repetitive triangular shapes jar and the edges are just a bit too harsh. I decided changing to a landscape format would work best, as it would be difficult to eliminate the peaks.
I sponged the background crags to soften them, then applied a glaze of French ultramarine and cadmium red across the background, bringing in more ultramarine on the right-hand side. When all this was dry, I restated the right-hand wall and applied ultramarine and yellow ochre to the foreground to throw more emphasis onto the focal point, and I put a few drops of Indian red in places just to warm it up.